Ashley, you blow me away. First of all, we had an intro of your accomplishments. You are such a go-getter. It's like you had a resume that was superlative that you could have put on LinkedIn before you were in 8th grade, I think, between Future Farmers of America and everything, and the variety of things you do. And then that was also highlighted by the subject matter you chose for your speech. It's giving to others, but it was more than just organizing and relating to kids who and adults who have the same interests in you. It's stepping it up a bit, organizing it, organizing an organization of other people is probably one of the greatest challenges there is compared to organizing yourself, because you obviously know how to organize yourself, because look what you've accomplished. When I looked at your PowerPoint, and we did a lot of PowerPoints professionally in my job, what I noticed was there were a lot of bullet items, especially on the first few slides, where a complete sentence was written out. And the words were sort of small. They weren't too small to read, but to make it visually more effective, instead of writing a whole sentence, just the phrase. That way the type can be bigger and it's a bullet point. Trust me, we can read it. And just because you see the words on the slide doesn't mean you have to say it. If there's 4 bullet points and they're very obvious, you can speak to them without saying the whole sentence. We're going to address, I think the hardest one's going to be this. You can call out the one that you think's going to grab that's your pet peeve, or that you think the audience might like most. We can read. You don't have to repeat things. We can read. That's a lesson I learned that I share with you. One of the things I do like in your speech is it's not monotone. Your sentences go up and down. You have a very nice sentence melody, but every sentence is in the same key. What I'd like to see is, I want to see you get kind of excited occasionally, where sometimes things are just up at this level. Kind of like, if it's really important, say it. Or if it's really a challenge, you drop it down a note. So in addition to having very good sentence melody, I'd like you to see a couple things that are very high and a couple things that are very low if they're serious. That's just a challenge you might want to take on. I did like the overall content because it was so comprehensive in terms of planning. That's exactly what people have to hear. They have to hear how many components go into planning an event, because it's not obvious to everyone. I really appreciate that you shared that with us. But I think I'd like you to stretch a little further in your wrap-up. Some platitudes. They sound like platitudes, but they really aren't. Sometimes you have to say the obvious to people. Things like, organization can make a difference. And you can just say, make sure you include bing, 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 bing. There was at least 4 items that you had that you call out. Just name the item, bing, the budget, the this, the that, you have to plan that specifically in order to make sure your event is successful. So do that in your summary and call it out, bing, 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 just like that. And I think that will cinch the whole presentation. So slightly stronger summary with a little bit of punch in it at the end, and you'll blow everybody away because the content was there. Just a couple little points to just raise it up a notch. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Ashley.